Are you ready? Do you know what we're going to talk about today? We're going to talk about a horror-themed Halloween Horror Nights Battle Jacket. Let's get into it right now. One of the best pieces of merchandise that came out of HHN 30 was the HHN Jean Jacket. The HHN Jean Jacket is great, however, you might have a desire to customize it, or find a way of expressing your own individual style so it doesn't look like every other HHN Jean Jacket. In other words, maybe you want to turn the HHN Jean Jacket into a battle jacket or battle vest. How? One word, patches. Lots and lots of patches. In this video, I'm going to discuss the history of the battle jacket, give a primer on how to create a battle jacket, discuss the patches I have and which IPs they represent, show you my finished battle jacket, and discuss a giveaway I'm doing of a patch and enamel pins. And I'm placing chapters in this video, which you can find down below if you're interested in skipping to a specific topic. A battle jacket, battle vest, cutoff, or kutta in heavy metal subculture is a type of vest or jacket which originated in the US military, specifically the Army Air Corps, where pilots and other aviation personnel would collect patches or other insignia to put on regulation bomber jackets or flight suits. The practice continued within the biker subculture and later found popularity in punk and heavy metal subcultures. Biker, metal, and punk subcultures differ in how the garment is prepared, what decorations are applied, and how this is done. One of the best descriptions of battle jackets was written by Lauren Alex O'Hagan in her paper entitled My Musical Armor, Exploring Metalhead Identity Through the Battle Jacket, in which she states, inspired by both military uniforms and the biker scene, the first battle jackets emerged in the mid-1970s and soon became a popular way for metalheads to pledge allegiance to particular bands, express group solidarity, and develop a communal identity. However, like tattoos, the look and placement of patches on these jackets also serve as an expression of self and a reflection of the owner's personal values, beliefs, and experiences. There are three key aspects of battle jackets: sense of community, pursuit of selfhood, and codes of civility, authenticity, that turn into a cultural biography that is central to a person's sense of identity and web of memories. Among the biker community, cutoffs are usually made from leather jackets with their sleeves removed and often adorned with patches and badges that display motorcycle club affiliations known as colors. In punk subculture, cutoffs are often leather but can also be denim. Typical decorations are metal studs and badges, often painted on of bands or political causes, with cloth patches being secondary. Ultimately because of the difficulty of doing the required needlework on tough leather. In addition, sleeves are more likely to be kept attached to the body of the jacket. As part of the DIY philosophy of the hardcore punk scene, the vest may be home repaired with heavy thread, dental floss, or safety pins, and the band logos may be put on using paint and crude homemade stencils. Some wearers also drape chains or other paraphernalia from the vest. Cutoffs in the heavy metal scene are often adorned with patches of logos and album covers of bands, ranging in size from small square patches to the large back patch that fills the back of the vest. I decided that for my battle jacket, I wanted to be horror themed and one that represents the intellectual properties I have personally seen at Halloween Horror Nights. The rules I set for myself are pretty simple. First, I can't have a patch on the jacket unless I have personally seen the property as a haunted house, scare zone, or show. Second, I must have every IP that I have personally seen at HHN represented on the jacket. Third, No matter how many times a property appears at Halloween Horror Nights, I can only have one patch for it on the jacket. Alright, so now let's talk about how we apply the patches to the jacket.
Okay, I'm not going to go into a lot of details about how to actually create your battle jacket. There's already lots of different informational videos on YouTube to learn about that, but let me highlight some key points. The first thing to consider is the type of patches themselves. The first distinction is whether it's an iron-on patch or not an iron-on patch. An iron-on patch, as the name implies, has a glue applied to the back of the patch, and you iron it onto the battle jacket. That makes that glue then adhere to the jacket itself. Now, many in the battle jacket community will tell you that iron-on patches are bad. They don't like them because first, the glue can actually cause damage to the jacket if you ever want to remove the patch. And second, because that glue tends to not be real adhesive. It tends to come loose over time. And third, because the iron-on patches are much more difficult to actually sew through. They're a much thicker material. So if you really want the patch to stick to the jacket, whether it's an iron-on patch or not, what you need to do is sew the patch onto the jacket. Now, before I start sewing or ironing on or gluing patches on, the first thing I do is lay out the patches on the jacket so I have an idea of how I want them to be organized. Now personally, after I've decided the layout and organization for how I want my jacket, I will then actually iron on the iron-on patches, and the non-iron-on patches I'll attach with this glue, the E6000, to the jacket. I feel that nicely ensures that the patches are laying flat and they're organized exactly how I want them for when I sew them on, which is my next step. Now, before you start sewing any patches on, first what you want to decide is how you're going to sew them on. For example, are you going to use a whip stitch or a running stitch? Are you going to use a matching color or a contrasting color? A whip stitch is a simple sewing stitch in which the needle is passed in and out of the fabric in a series of stitches that circle an edge of the fabric. Which stitching creates a nice edge and prevents the fabric from unraveling. A straight or running stitch is a basic stitch in hand sewing, and the stitches work by passing the needle in and out of the fabric at a regular distance. Personally, I feel if you do not want to emphasize the stitching, use a running stitch in a matching color. If you want to emphasize the stitching, use a whip stitch in a contrasting color. Now that you've decided how you want to do the stitching, I'd recommend you buy a high quality waxed upholstery thread, a good needle, and a thimble. After this, it's just a labor of love of taking the time to sew on all of your patches to create your brand new battle jacket. So now let's discuss which patches I put on my jacket.
My first year, 1996, had the Crypt Keepers Studio Tour of Terror House and the Crypt Keepers Festival of the Dead Parade, which were both represented by this patch. Also in 1996, we had Universal's new House of Horrors, which, given that the Halloween Horror Nights jacket is highly featuring the Universal monsters, I think that was pretty well accounted for. Representing multiple years of the event, we have Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. In 2012, we had Welcome to Silent Hill. From 2012 to 2016, we had The Walking Dead Houses, and in 2013, we had park-wide The Walking Dead Scarezones. In 2013, we had possibly my favorite IP house of all time. That would be Cabin in the Woods. Now, this one's going to be a little different. I couldn't find a good patch for Cabin in the Woods, so I bought this little bag, which I'm going to rip apart and turn it into a patch. In 2013, we had The Evil Dead House, and in 2017, we had Ash vs. The Evil Dead Trail of Carnage. In 2013 and 2015, we, of course, had An American Werewolf in London. Also in 2013, we had Resident Evil Escape from Raccoon City. In 2014, we had From Dusk Till Dawn, based on the TV series. Also in 2014, we had Dracula Untold, Reign of Blood. Now this is another unique one because I couldn't find a good patch for this, so I bought a mask, and we're going to turn the mask into a patch. In 2014, we had Halloween. In 2016, Halloween Hell Comes to Haddonfield, and of course in 2018, Halloween 4. This one's also kind of cool because it's also glow in the dark. In 2014, I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show, a tribute. In 2015, we had the Freddy vs. Jason house. Also in 2015, we had the Insidious house. And in 2017, part of the Blumhouse house was Insidious. Again, of interest, the eyes glow in the dark with this one. In 2014 and 2017, we had the Purge Scarezones. In 2015, we had the Purge house. And in 2017 and 2018, part of the Blumhouse houses was the Purge. In 2016 and 2021, we had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In 2016, we also had The Exorcist. Continuing in 2016, we had Krampus. In 2016 and 2017, we had The American Horror Story. 2017 brought us a classic, The Shining, and Saw, The Games of Jigsaw. The 2017 Horror of Blumhouse House contained Sinister, as well as The Purge and Insidious, which have been represented in other places. 2018 and 2019 saw Stranger Things. A 2017 Scarezone and a 2018 house brought us Trick or Treat. Poltergeist was it 2018? 2018 brought us the Horrors of Blumhouse 2, which included Happy Death Day and the first Purge that is represented by other patches. Also in 2018, we had the Revenge of Chucky Scarezone. In 2019, we had the Universal Monsters house, which I'm representing by this official patch from Halloween Horror Nights. Now, when the jacket and the patches first came out, I was really excited, so I put a couple of patches on before I decided to do this whole jacket. That's why this one's already attached. Also in 2019, we had Ghostbusters. As a 2018 Scarezone and 2019 house, we had Killer Clowns from Outer Space. 2019 brought us to the event, as well as House of 1,000 Corpses and the Rob Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe Scarezone, as well as the Zombieland Double Tap Scarezone. And in 2021, we saw Beetlejuice and The Haunting of Hill House, and certainly not least, Universal Monsters, The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. Now some patches I'm currently missing. From 2014, Alien vs. Predator. I had this patch ordered, but it's coming from Croatia, so I don't know when it's going to be here. 2021, the CryptTV Scarezone, which I'm hoping to get a patch from CryptTV. And 2014, Face Off in the Flesh, which so far I haven't been able to find anything to make a patch out of that. Now, there's a few other things I just had to represent on my battle jacket. The first of which being Monsters Cafe. My wife and I always end our night at Monsters Cafe, and everyone tends to find their favorite spot in Monsters Cafe, and we always tend to sit beneath the Bride of Frankenstein's painting. So this is a special place in our hearts. This is a photograph I took of the painting that I had made into a patch. I couldn't resist getting my name printed in the Ghostbusters style to put on my jacket. Additionally, Legendary Truth, and in particular the Strengoit Legion, is what turned me from a casual Halloween Horror Nights fan into the obsessed fan you see here today. Given this, I very much want to represent this on the jacket. So what I'm going to do, as much as it kind of pains me, I'm going to take this hat that has the Strengoit Legion emblem and the Legendary Truth emblem on it, and I'm going to cut it up and turn it into patches. Now, while that might be blasphemy, I have 2 copies of the hat. So, it's alright if one of them I turn into the jacket. Did you see the CryptTV Scarezone at HHN 30? The quality of the character design in this zone was incredible. You can find my link to my video of the CryptTV Scarezone above. You are truly missing out if you haven't given the content on CryptTV a watch yet. I really hope that CryptTV returns as a house to HHN in the future. Beyond this, the folks over at CryptTV, they're good people. Speaking of which, the folks at CryptTV generously sent me an iron-on patch, a look-see enamel pin, a Mordeo enamel pin, and a Door in the Woods button. I will be hosting a giveaway of these items to one of my subscribers. Please see the giveaway linked in the description of this video. Do you have the HHN jacket? Are you going to make a horror-themed battle jacket? Let me know in the comments down below. And please, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And after you subscribe, see the video description below to learn how to enter the contest to win the items from CryptTV.